After having defeated the Minotaur and the tragic death of the Aegean king, Theseus, the crown prince of Athens, became Attica's ruler. The new king of Athens, after consolidating his power, started to be seen with great reverence due to his accomplishments when he was still quite young. Theseus was a fair, sapient, and magnanimous king. He was not hungry for power, to the point where he handed it to the people, and all citizens were seen as equals. Theseus only kept his position of supreme chief of the Athenian army. This was a period of major prosperity throughout Attica. Athens was regarded as the world's happiest and most free city, and democracy flourished in it. The king had an extremely kind heart, and when the news came to him that the great hero Hercules had gone mad, plunged into a dreadful depression, Theseus departed to help the great hero. Theseus managed to retrieve Hercules' morale, and from this meeting, the two heroes strengthened their friendship. When Hercules left for the kingdom of the Amazon to conduct another of his famous labors, Theseus followed him. After defeating the Amazons, Theseus returned to Attica, bringing Antiope with him. The hero had a son with her, named Hippolytus. But the Amazons had not forgotten Antiope's abduction, the princess of the Amazons, and prepared an expedition to invade the region of Attica. The warrior women terrorized the area and actually invaded Athens. But, led by Theseus, the Athenian population fought the mob of female warriors. Antiope fought alongside Theseus, and for her betrayal, she was killed on the battlefield. The Athenians valiantly repelled the invaders. After the heroic victory of the Athenians, no enemy dared to invade Athens again during Theseus's reign. Although not hungry for power, Theseus loved to take part in adventures that led him to join the hunt for Calydon's boar and followed the hero Jason in his quest for the Golden Fleece. Theseus had reached the zenith of his glory. His prestige was so vast that some referred to him as the Athenian Hercules. Unlike many other Greek heroes, Theseus's life was not interrupted in his youth, and so, alongside his friend Pirithous, the king of the Lapiths, Theseus was also involved in several other adventures. Invited by Pirithous, the king of Lapiths, Theseus traveled to the region of Thessaly. Pirithous was about to marry the beautiful princess Hippodamia. The relatives of the king, known as Lapiths, were invited to the royal wedding. Mountain people seen as rude but very brave. They were the first Greeks to tame and ride horses. The Lapiths were children of the famous king Ixion, who was punished by the gods, having to suffer for all eternity in Tartarus. The centaurs were also invited, beings who were a mixture of man and horse. The creatures were also sons of Ixion, and because of that, there was a rivalry between them and the Lapiths. The festivities had begun, and Theseus fraternized with the Lapiths and the centaurs. Everything appeared to be in good spirits, in such an exotic party. But, as the guests started to become intoxicated with so many beverages, the more primitive instincts of the centaurs began to emerge. Eurystheus, the leader of the centaurs, drunk with wine, decided to abduct the beautiful bride of Pirithous. The centaur grabbed Hippodamia, and the bride cried out in panic. The other centaurs followed their leader's example, and took with them the guests' wives and the king's maids. Theseus could not believe in such a barbaric act, and alongside Pirithous, he led the Lapiths against the centaurs. The Lapiths threw all within their reach against the centaurs. Plates, amphoras, and jars flew through the air. Theseus hit the leader of the centaurs with a brass jar. The creature fell to the ground, with his head cracked open. Pirithous used his spear to attack the centaurs. The struggle between the Lapiths and centaurs was bloody, but Theseus's presence, who was now fighting with a club, was decisive for the Lapiths' win. The queen was rescued, and so Pirithous was left with a great debt of gratitude to Theseus. This event strengthened even more the friendship between the heroes, who would become inseparable friends, and together they would invade even the kingdom of the dead. Theseus was no longer young, and after Antiope's death, the Amazon mother of his son Hippolytus, the hero never married again. But the hero then met Phaedra, Ariadne's sister, the great love that Theseus had in his youth days. The similarities between the girl and his old love led Theseus to feel his golden youthful years again, when he faced the terrible Minotaur all by himself. With the consent of the king of Crete, the hero married Phaedra and made her his queen, thus establishing an alliance between the Cretan kingdom and Athens. The age gap between Theseus and his new wife was enormous. She was the same age as his son Hippolytus. The boy was pure and had made a vow of chastity in honor of the goddess Artemis. The prince was quite handsome, and so the queen started to grow a secret love for her stepson. Only her faithful servant knew of the queen's love for Hippolytus. Theseus was away on a journey, and Phaedra took advantage of this opportunity to unleash her repressed love. The queen declared her love before